The Digital Photography Cafe show is brought to you by Focus Pyramid, the autofocus lens calibration tool for your camera, and by ShootProof, the easy way to proof and sell your photos online.
Welcome to the Digital Photography Cafe show. Join hosts Trevor Curran and Joseph Christina as they chat about the art and business of photography.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. This is episode 120. I'm Joseph Christina here with my co-host Trevor Curran. On last week's episode, we talked about Sony's new mirrorless camera offerings, Wi-Fi SD card options, and Reuters fires all of their freelance sports photographers. If you haven't watched last week's show, I encourage you to do so. You can find it at our website, digitalphotographycafe.com, in iTunes, listen with the popular Stitcher, TuneIn, and Xbox music apps, or watch in HD on TiVo.
So, Joe, we're back. I hear it's your birthday. Happy birthday, man.
It's my birthday. I know. We should put some music in the background.
No, we can't play that, actually. That's copyright.
No, that's copyrighted material. Can't do it.
That's why they never sing a happy birthday song in all the restaurants and stuff. They can't.
So
legally, they would be in trouble.
Yeah, they would have to. They'll be providing monies to someone.
Right. So you're 29 again, right?
I'll be 29 forever. I'm stuck here.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm a vampire.
Good. Congratulations to you.
Yep. I feed twice a year, and
nice.
I'm good.
One of those Twilight dudes.
How's everything over there?
Things are going good. We've been really, really busy. Busy. I say that often, I think, but I mean it. We've got a lot. We've got a lot going on this week.
That's fabulous.
Yeah,
that's really good. That is.
We're
good.
doing a
well. You know who's really busy right now is photographers that are shooting for Google.
Yeah, this is
kind of interesting little story that came through, which I thought was I think it's just cool how things are moving. And we always say that if you just keep doing what you're doing, more of the same, eventually you go the way of the dinosaurs. What we always say. Here there's a new possibility for us photographers, and that's from Google. Right?
Yeah, this is really cool. I found out about it this week, and I didn't really even know that this was an option, to be honest with you. But so we all know about Google Maps and Google Earth and Google Street View, and Google Street View is really hot. A lot of businesses and whatever are incorporating Google Street View into their websites. That way, it just makes it easier to find their location. You can see the surroundings, etc. So, but Google Street View has always been created with like the Google car with the cameras mounted to the roof on,
big
or you've got those guys with the backpacks with the cameras on them, and they're trekking like up through trails and stuff, and they're mapping,
They got the big GPS like rod sticking out the top of their backpack with the big round dish.
Right, exactly. It's geotagging everything. It's taking pictures and everything. It's really cool. So that's the way Google has been generating their imagery for Street View.
Right.
But the thing that they've never done until now is be able to photograph interiors of businesses. So you can put in an address on Google Maps. You can go to Street View, and it will show you possibly the front of a business. Exactly. Now with this new opportunity, you can actually have your interior of your business photographed to where the viewer can actually navigate through your front door and up the stairs and in this office or in that, big area of your room, all over the place. It's really cool. It's a whole new functionality. But Google themselves are not doing it. They're actually working through partner photographers. Exactly. And this is what's so cool, because it opens up a whole new opportunity for photographers to get involved as a partner with Google. And this is cool as anything, man.
It's very cool. And obviously Google does not want guys, just random people taking pictures and saying it's from a specific location when they're not vetted, let's say. So Google has quote unquote certified photographers, and you could be one of them, that go out and do these jobs and do these, shoots. But what's interesting is once you do have that certification, or once you are, let's say, working with or partnered with Google, that's a whole nother line item that you can offer to clients, B2B, like from your business to another business or whatnot, so that, they can now have high-end photos taken of the interior of their business, which can go up onto Google.
Right.
So it has, I think, huge possibilities, great opportunities for people that can shoot interiors and do it well, because Google will, like we said, vet these photographers, but they'll also vet the photos. And if the photos are not up to quote unquote snuff, they will not be, put in. So, it's definitely a new way to make dollars.
Yeah, it really is. There's a photographer out there by the name of Jeremy Paulus. And he actually this article that we found was kind of centered around him and his photography business. So he has like a legit photography business, and he went online and applied to be a partner photographer with Google.
Right.
They accepted him in, and basically, you have to use your own equipment. You get software, you shoot a certain way, you stitch it a certain way, and then you actually upload it to Google Street View system. Pending approval, then once Google approves it, they get it into their system. You, as a photographer, can go out and charge the client to provide the service. You do it along with other interior shots. So now you can do some shots for their brochures or their websites or what have you. But now you're also providing this virtual tour for them. Now it can be uploaded to Google, and then they in turn can go embed this virtual tour on their own website.
So here you are, you're helping the client, you're giving them fabulous images, you're helping Google, you're giving them fabulous images, you're getting paid by the client, and you're getting paid by Google.
Yeah.
I don't see, too much of a downside there. It's definitely something interesting. You can definitely, we'll put a link in there. You can take a look at the story, but it's something that you can go into Google and go and check out. It might be something interesting to do, especially if you guys are in not a rural area, but let's say in a city where there's a lot of businesses.
Yeah.
The potential of, shooting 2, 3, 4, 5 businesses a week is great.
This is something that I'm actually contemplating adding to our business. We work with a lot of local businesses. We work with a lot of, national people too. I mean, they're all over the place. Everything's virtual now anyway. So I've got clients in California and Colorado and what have you. But, again, being a member of the Chamber of Commerce, I have access to a lot of local businesses. And this is a great service to be able to provide to them as even a foot in the door, as a conversation piece, and then being able to offer them other services. So definitely something I want to think about.
Absolutely. So we also found out Nikon, right? They announced the what is it, the 5300 as well as the D610.
Yeah, well, this is like a rumor announcement.
It's a rumor announcement. It's not official. Yeah. But what I found is interesting with this whole thing is that, and this happens a lot, and it kind of goes down the lines that we talk about in the past, buy glass, don't buy bodies. Right. Here we know that the D600s had problems, let's say with their sensor for quite some time, and I'm sure they've gotten a ton of them back.
Yep.
But here it seems more like, the 610, according to what the rumors are stating, is more of a fix to the 600. Right?
Yeah, that's right. It sounds like it's really not going to be much more feature rich than the 600 was. Right. It looks like it's really going to be more of a fix for the bad sensor. And the kind of the indications of the rumors here are they've noticed a deep discount in refurbed D600s. So these problem cameras that have been sent back, fixed, and now they just want to move stock. They want to get these lemons out of here.
Just get them out.
And get into the new model. And
it's funny. They did the same thing, Trev, right? With those SB900s. They went from the SB900 over to an SB910.
Right.
What did they do with it? Basically nothing besides fix overheating
right
issues. It's the same type of thing. And for me, I think any big corporation, if they see that there's something that is an actual problem with the machine itself, they should recall them.
Yeah,
just like they did with cars or with a specific part, they should recall them. But they don't. They allow us to be like beta testers of their equipment. If there's a problem, they'll fix it, up to, 90 days or 1 year, whatever the warranties are on some of them. And that's the end of it. We kind of take the risk out, of it. But we'll see what happens, right, with this 610. If they add anything else or if it's just going to be kind of more of the same.
Just a replacement
problem that they're having.
Yeah, we'll see. It'll be time will tell, as they say.
Yeah. But I tell you what. We've talked about in the past that, many cameras are going to, instead of the 1080p, they're going to 4K.
Yeah.
Huge, movie productions now, there's everything's 4K, huge resolution. Yeah. And now Acer announces a 4K smartphone.
I know. Can you believe that?
Like, what is that? I mean, the sensor has got to be like the size of like a pinhead.
Yeah, and they're going to shooting 4K video with it. I know, it's crazy. It's a 6-inch screen, so that's nothing to sneeze at. I mean, that's a nice size screen. Right. And to be able to have a smartphone that can shoot 4K video, I mean, I don't know what you do with it, but I mean, that's some pretty high resolution video.
And I bet it's definitely going to happen, because we know that Samsung right now is in production, and they're saying that the new Note, I believe, their huge like tablet phone looking monstrosity, will also be shooting 4K. Right. So yeah. This is going to be like the new thing. Well, I think it's funny though. It's like, what software is going to allow you to edit 4K? I mean, some of these programs and some of these machines can barely do 1080 without just exploding, imploding, overheating.
Yeah,
So
I think
4K,
you're going to find a lot of, like iMovie and stuff like that. Well, I mean, these things are going to be shooting with some major compression. I mean, it may be 4K resolution, but it's going to be heavily compressed into whatever format they're using. You'll eventually, there'll be updates for iPhoto and other consumer level products to be able to edit and view this type of stuff. But the 4K TVs are starting to roll out, and that's where they're trying to create the compatibility. Maybe now you take a plug out of the phone, you just plug it right into this 4K TV, and you just watch it direct rather than editing it. So it's interesting. Again, we talk about the evolution of technology. It's just interesting to see where all of this is going.
Right. So, all right, guys, listen, we got a lot more for you. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break to hear from a couple of our sponsors.
Are you frustrated with slightly out of focus images when you know your autofocus spot was dead on? It's simply not your fault. From manufacturer to manufacturer, and even lens copy to lens copy, there are slight variances to the exact spot where light is being focused onto the sensor. Finally, there's a product that allows you to compensate for those variances and make sharper images immediately. Focus Pyramid, the autofocus lens calibration tool, is an absolute must for every photographer. If you want to make the sharpest images possible, then you need to take control over your camera's focusing system. With the Focus Pyramid, you can calibrate all of your lenses on your lunch break. The Focus Pyramid makes lens calibration quick and easy at an affordable price. So give your lenses a new lease on life and take your photography to the next level. Head over to focuspyramid.com/DPC and get an additional 10% off just for being a show listener. As photographers, we're always trying to increase sales and profits after every event.
We shoot an event and have hundreds or even thousands of images that just sit on our hard drives.
Perhaps a better workflow would increase sales by getting those valuable images in front of the client.
That's where ShootProof comes in. At shootproof.com, you can have an online gallery for all of your clients' proofing needs.
ShootProof helps increase profits while building your brand and securing your photos without charging commission fees on sales.
ShootProof galleries display your photos beautifully while helping to streamline your workflow and automate more of your business through their intuitive studio control panel.
Once approved, photos can be directly fulfilled through ShootProof's various professional lab partners or fulfilled by you.
All ShootProof plans have the same feature set. You simply choose the number of client photos stored, decide what products to sell, and the price.
Try ShootProof today by taking advantage of their free 30-day trial offer.
As a Digital Photography Cafe viewer, ShootProof is offering a 20% discount off any of their premium plans by using promo code DPC20 at checkout.
ShootProof. Upload, share, sell, print. All right, so Joe, we're back. And of course, Adobe is in the news yet again this week.
I can't believe it.
I know, it seems like a regular occurrence. So in the past, we've kind of, been accused of bashing or what have you on Adobe's new Creative Cloud. We've expressed our thoughts about it in depth, in detail through multiple shows with pricing comparisons to purchasing, to renting and, all that good stuff.
The positive and the negatives.
Positives and negatives, all that stuff. So big announcement this week at Photoshop World in Las Vegas. Adobe actually announced a special pricing package geared for photographers.
Yes. Amazing. Special pricing package. So, we've said that, so Adobe have taken basically all of their products and put them into the cloud, and you can pay monthly to use their products or not. It's up to you.
Yep.
That's just, they've went down the, the whole model of, pay per use or pay for use for X number of time. Yep. It's basically a leasing program or renting. So you rent their software for X number of years or months or whatever it is, which we're not fans of, but that's just what they're doing.
Yep.
So unless there's enough people complaining, they will continue to do it.
That's right.
Now they're talking about, but they've always said that, listen, we're going to leave Lightroom alone. Yes. Lightroom will always be a purchase product. Right now you can buy it for $149, whatever it is. You can get a discount or whatnot. Now they're saying, hey, wait a second. We can also throw it into the cloud. So how about if we give you guys Photoshop and Lightroom for a reduced price for the photographers out there? Maybe you guys would be happy about that, but you're kind of not happy about
You're not
the
happy
rest.
about the other stuff, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so for $9.99 per month, now you can have access to Photoshop, Creative Cloud, and Lightroom 5 in Creative Cloud, which to me actually is not a bad deal. If you're an owner of CS3 or newer, you qualify for this pricing. So it's kind of one of those upgrade pricing deals. But again, if you do the math, I mean, we've talked in the past about the 2-year turnover rate. Every 2 years you go and you update your software. A lot of people skip that 0.5 version and what have you, and they go for the whole version or whatever. So if you do the math, I mean, if you were paying, $10 a month for 2 years, that's $240. Now, if you were to buy if you were still able to buy the Photoshop upgrade, we know that the Photoshop upgrade is always like $400 plus.
Yeah, it's going to be more than that. The same thing with Lightroom.
Lightroom's like $80. So now you're up to $480. So, kind of if you do the math, I mean, with this approach, you're actually working out to be better. You're actually saving some money. But if you don't need Photoshop, you just buy Lightroom.
Exactly. And that's the whole idea of it. If they stop all sales of Lightroom and go straight to the cloud, I think what will happen is Apple's aperture will definitely pop up a lot, and you'll see a big resurgence of aperture. And I think that it would incentivize Apple to start doing some work on it and not letting it sit there as dead wood as they have.
Right.
And I think there'll definitely be more people back into aperture over Lightroom. But, as long as they're keeping it, open for purchase, as well as you can do this,
do the Creative
let's say
Cloud
rent, I like it. It's not bad. I wouldn't, it's not, I don't think it's a bad way to go. And especially guys, if you guys are back from, CS3, I mean, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, it's time to upgrade. That's pretty old at this point. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, and the just real quick, the other advantage is if you happen to be paying the $20 a month for Photoshop Creative Cloud, you will automatically get the new pricing. So they'll knock your monthly payment back down to $10 a month. And right now on Lightroom 5, they're running a special promotion. The upgrade is always like $79. $80. Right. If you're buying it for the first time, the normal price is $149, but they're running a special. You save $20. It's $129. So
bear in mind, also, guys, Aperture is $79 right from the
App Store,
right from the store, the App Store. So
but it's Mac only. So for our PC listeners out there, Lightroom may be the only alternative you have.
Yeah, pretty much. We've talked about some other third-party type options out there too. But as far as, mass appeal and presence, definitely
Lightroom's the big,
it's still the big, the big gorilla. So anyways, going on, advertising. Yep. I'm an advertising major. I went to the Art Institute for Commercial Art and Advertising Design and Photography. So, I've been doing this since 1991.
Yep.
Somewhere around there. Went in the late 80s. And so, back then, working in the advertising agency, it was just stupid money.
Oh yeah, it was hot.
Hand over fist. It was just roll. You could, if you were in advertising, you were driving, the Mercedes, the Beamer. It's like the real estate industry. Yep. We're, ton of money. Well, it's not so much the case any longer.
No, as we all know, I mean, the advertising industry has just dropped drastically. The amount of people spending the money on traditional advertising, full color print magazine advertising, television commercials. Radio, I think, is still holding its own. Those types of businesses who are appropriate for radio, I think they're still holding their own, especially in the talk radio genre. I mean, when it comes to music, you've got a lot more people going over to Sirius and stuff, but for talk, I mean, you still have a lot of people on FM. So radio advertising, I think, is still working, but there, obviously, it's just been dropping. So there was a recent study that showed this cut in advertising job positions, and it's just crazy. I mean, it's one of the highest job positions that have been cut.
Oh yeah, you look at a curve; it's just like just gangbusters to all of a sudden it's just fell off a cliff.
Yeah.
And that's just, the advent of digital. And I mean, look at TV. I mean, look, Apple's introducing now a TV that you're going to be able to basically pay a subscription for, that you no longer have to watch commercials. Well,
yeah.
there are more ad jobs gone. Going digital. Things have gone from print. So many print magazines are gone. Barnes and Noble and a lot of alike are, consolidating. Closing up shop here, there, and elsewhere. We lost the Barnes and Noble just recently here. This because there's, they used to sell majority of their sales were through magazines and not through books, and that's why they would have the coffee shops and people would look at the magazines, buy the magazines, and they would make a lot of money on those magazines, and they would have just tons of them. Now magazine ads are down; they're in the gutter. And magazines are shutting their doors and consolidating.
Yes.
So, the ads are the ads. You can't sell ads if there's no one to sell them to. People are just not buying them because the presence is not there. Where you used to have like a publication, let's say, getting 1 million viewers per month, now they're down to 100,000. Well, what are you going to do with that? You could do better with Google AdSense or something.
That's right.
Or click.
That's right. Well, I mean, this report, shows that a decade ago there were 81,000 jobs available for the advertising industry, and now as of 2012, that number's dropped to like 28,000. I mean, that's like a third.
I mean, cut it in a fourth.
It's serious. I mean, it is a serious issue, and the reason we talk about it is because we've got a lot of commercial photographers out there. The people who are shooting for ad work, and
they understand the pain.
Yeah,
because that commercial jobs, and myself included, the commercial work is definitely at an all-time low.
Yep.
Because people don't need the commercial photography if they're not putting out commercial ads on a regular basis, and that's it.
Right.
The only side note to that is they still need photos for their website, and they still need photos for digital campaigns. The problem is we know print has a view like up here, a presence up here, whereas digital is just down here.
It's that perception of value. Yeah,
perception of value is completely different over print.
Well, when a company was spending $4,000 for a full-page color ad per month,
right?
Then for them to spend several $1,000s on creating some beautiful imagery for that ad, it made sense. But now when you're talking about, I need a photo for my website, it's not the same. The perceived value is not there, and they don't want to spend the couple $1,000s on a photo shoot for a photo on their website. It's just not, it doesn't have the same value to them.
Unless they understand the difference between a professional shot and a non-professional shot, they look at, my camera phone does 41 megapixels, like we were just talking about. That's more than enough. That's actually more megapixels than this guy's going to give me with his pro camera.
That's right.
So once again, perceived value. And if you want to continue to do well as a photographer in this industry, the perception, your perceived value has to be continuously up here.
Right.
If not, it's just not gonna happen. It's the same thing like I always say, mediocrity is dead. Be stellar or be nothing. You cannot be mediocre these days. You have to be stellar, or people will not see the value of using.
Yeah, and you have to evolve. I mean, the first story we talked about the Google Photographer Program, and this is an opportunity for photographers who are interested in who already shoot interiors, or who are interested in getting into this new little niche. It's a great foot in the door. It's a great service that you can offer to local businesses to get your foot in the door. Once your foot's in the door, other opportunities arise. I see it every day. I mean, somebody that I talked to, right, about wanting to do a website, now all of a sudden they need a logo revamp or they need some photography work done. It evolves. The projects get bigger. It's getting your foot in the door, and having that little niche service that you can provide can give you that foot in the door. And maybe it's not going to be a long-term thing. Maybe it's not going to have longevity, because now there's going to be so many people doing these Google Street View things, Google Business Views. But capitalize on it while you can.
Absolutely. Make hay when the sun's shining, guys. Absolutely. So Nikon unveils the P7800, I believe.
Yeah.
So,
prosumer point
we were
and
kind of prosumer. So we were kind of looking at it, and we're like, wow, we're going spec by spec by spec by spec, as we do, just to kind of get a good feel of the new camera. And I swear it's identical, or pretty much identical, to the camera that we just talked about last week, which is the Canon G16.
Yep.
I mean, it's like they're almost mirror.
Yeah, it's their version of the G16. Yep, that prosumer level point and shoot camera with the manual features and great capabilities and stuff. I mean, yeah, if you're a Nikon shooter and you prefer Nikon, this looks like a great possible camera for you, for that walk around pocket camera.
Yeah, and it gives you the functionality like a G16 that gives you a lot of those manual features, and it's it adapts to your style. It's not just automatic, P for professional, and just, hope for the best. You can actually dial it in and whatnot. 12, once again, both of them, the G16 as well as the 7800, they're all 12 megapixels, 4000 by 3000 as far as the resolution. You have a good, decent 28 to, one is like 150, the other one is 200 on the zoom side. Those are optical
the Nikon
zooms,
is 28 to 200. Yep. I mean, that's pretty nice.
That's not bad.
You've got the built-in optical zoom, 7.1 times optical zoom, which is actually nice that you're not relying on digital zoom, because we know that's garbage.
That's
It's 3-inch screen, articulating screen, which is nice.
Yep.
It shoots the video, the whole deal, the 1080p, all that good stuff. Yeah. So definitely, again, if you're in the market for a higher level point and shoot, walk around camera, check it out.
Yeah, a high-end point and shoot. Absolutely. That's the best of the best. Right. So once again, 7800 or the G16, on the Canon side. So both awesome. Going on. Press. Now this story is kind of interesting. This is something that you found.
Yeah, it's right up my
alley.
And we were
kind of, we were looking at it, and it's like, wow, someone kind of gets it. And it's called, what is it? Pressgram.
Pressgram.
It's kind of interesting, right, Trevor?
Yeah, this is really cool. This just released this week.
Today?
September 5th. I mean, yesterday, the day, from when we're recording. The name of the website is Pressgram. It's PRESSGR.am. And they're doing that funky extension deal. But basically what it is it's an iOS app coupled with a WordPress plugin that allows you to shoot photos, to edit them with filters, Instagram-esque, and upload them to the social sites as well as your WordPress site. And it's pretty cool because it's more of that automated process. Whereas
it was like a guy made it that basically is trying, he saw that there's a problem.
Right.
He used Instagram forever, and he's like, well, I don't want to do this, but I like the filters. I want to put it on my site. So he's like, you know what? I'm going to make an alternative. And that's basically what this is. It gives you the functionality to take a picture, throw a bunch of filters at it, and either put it onto your website, like onto your WordPress site, or put it on Facebook or Twitter directly. It's very cool.
It is cool. I mean, the developer's name is John Saddington, and he's one of the guys behind 8-Bit. 8-Bit, they had a couple different websites, blogging sites about WordPress and such. 8-Bit is now done, and he's moved on to do his own thing. And basically he had said, you watch the videos and stuff. He liked Instagram. He liked being able to share, filter the photos, share the photos and all. He didn't like their terms of service. He didn't like the fact that they could basically do what they want with your photos. And we've talked about that in the past. And the same with Facebook. Yeah. Their terms of service is really what got to him. So basically he killed both of his accounts and had this epiphany, I guess, of creating his own service that allows you to do similar functionality to Instagram and share it socially, but have that added ease of being able to put it on your website without having to embed. You know, Instagram has that new embed feature. Without having to actually embed a Instagram photo, you can actually just publish it directly from your phone to your site. Really cool. And the plugin gives you control over where it gets published. It doesn't necessarily have to enter your news feed or on your homepage. It can be within a category. You can hide the category from the news feed, so that way it doesn't bombard people with all these like 10s and 20s of photos you're uploading, you know.
Exactly. I tell you what, Godspeed to you.
Yeah.
I think it's a fantastic idea. The only thing that I would say is just make sure you do not do more of the same like the rest of these folks are doing, and pull out our ID3 tags on our metadata. Make sure you leave it virgin, untouched, those images, so that if we want to go and add something in there after the fact, share with this or not, it keeps, you know, who it is or who it's by.
Yeah. He seems to be very
it
aware of those issues.
Yeah.
And you know, again, it's a wait and see. This is a brand new service. Like I said, it's starting to make rumblings through the photography and WordPress industries. And, you know, that's what caught my eye. And that's why, you know, we felt like, hey, let's let you know about it now. Kind of like, hey, we, you know, this is something new. So if you're interested in trying it, check it out.
Yeah, we always give you guys something new.
That's
to
right.
go sign up for or go test out, you know. And you guys are fantastic about getting back to us and telling us, you know, what you think.
That's right.
So definitely do that. Sign up, give it a shot. You know, send us a comment, call into our hotline, something. Let us know what you think about it, because it's new, it's hot, it's something that could really, you know, take hold.
Yep.
I know they got a good backing.
Yeah, they did a Kickstarter
recently.
thing, made some bucks.
They did a Kickstarter, made some money. I think it was over $50,000. I think it is 56 grand or something
for the development. It's great.
So that's fantastic. Like I said, Godspeed. You know, keep those images virgin, and we definitely want to see, you know, how it goes on. Like I said, this is what, day 2, so we'll see what happens. Yep. Anyways, going further, this story was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
You know, wedding photographer, videographer just gets raked over the coals, right? Trev?
Yeah, this was bad news. This actually was a video that went viral within the last week or so. And so basically, picture the scene. There's a wedding. It's an outdoor wedding. It's a kind of confined area where they are. It looked almost kind of beachy or something. It was really hard to tell. You didn't see the ground. But needless to say, the spectators were on the left and the right side of the aisle as normal, but there were no outer edges. There were no out of bounds areas. You know, it was only the center aisle. So the videographer is set up at the end of the aisle, shooting the bride and the groom and the officiant there. And the photographer had to get her shots. So she's kind of like in the aisle as well. And apparently she kept popping out in front of the videographer, getting in his shot. and not just like a little bit, like a little clip, like blocking the entire frame. Like you couldn't even see the bride type of deal.
Yeah, I've been in this situation many times. And I can't tell you, you know, being ducked down in the front on your hands and knees like a dog, taking pictures because you know that the videographer is, you know, all the way back at the end of the aisle with a big, you know, 70 to 200 zoomed in recording video. You know, what can you do? There's really not a lot that you can do, because the bottom line is you need to get your shots, and you know the videographer needs to get his or her shot. So, you know, it's a fine line of, you know, So the bottom line is you need to understand what's going on, and you need to be kind of thoughtful about your placement and what you do. That's right. And this goes back to, we've talked in the past about a lot of, you know, brides are starting to understand this too, how people play together and how vendors play together. And if you get a videographer and a photographer that has worked together in the past, they work well together. And that, you know, it definitely helps to be able to get that type of package deal in comparison to getting all of these odd lot people, combining them and hope that you don't end up with some type of fight by the end of the night, because that's happened many times.
Absolutely. Well, that's it. They're kind of competing for the shot. I mean, they're both being paid by the bride and groom, and it's their job to get the shot, regardless whether it's still or video.
To get that shot.
That's right.
They have to.
That's right. And they will beat you down to get that shot. That's exactly right. So So anyway, kind of what happened with this whole thing is the videographer posted this video online. It got some traction. F-Stoppers picked it up. Petapixel picked it up. A bunch of other websites picked it up. And they were basically saying, you know, how this photographer ruined the videographer's shot. You know, so inconsiderate, was not even thinking and getting in the way and blah, blah, blah. So just posted it online with no regard.
And they just posted not the whole scope of it. They, you know, they posted
just that clip, just a
little clip,
2-minute clip,
that little area, 2-minute area,
and totally without any regards to the photographer at all. So this got posted on F-Stoppers. I actually saw it on F-Stoppers. It has since been taken down. Apparently, enough stink has been raised over this video. And the owner of the video, the company that shot it, they actually went in and had to enable the privacy settings on it because it was embedded all over the place. So they had to enable privacy settings so the video was no longer viewable. This photographer, you know, people are commenting on F-Stoppers like, oh, this is horrible. What a horrible photographer. Then the photographer actually comes in and says, this is me. And this is what happened, and wrote paragraphs about what happened and said, I was only in their shots for a few seconds and had one of them, it was a team of 2, had one of them come over and tap me on the shoulder and said, hey, you're blocking our shot. She said, I definitely would have moved. You know, I've been doing this for a long time. I've got enough experience in the business. This was, you know, a mistake, an oversight on my part. But now what's happening is it makes the photographer look like she's totally incompetent.
Right. It's ruining her business. She's, you know, the video's gone viral. She looks completely incompetent, like you said. Yep. And it's a major, major issue. And this happens a lot. You know, we want to put stories out there as quick as possible. And when we do, sometimes they're not vetted. Yep. You know, once again, we're not, you know, a lot of these bloggers, they're not journalists. They don't know, they don't understand the ramifications of sometimes what they put up. And here's a perfect example. You know, now you look at the article and you got a black screen, you know, black video with no video in there anymore because it had to be taken off. You know, this woman could basically sue, slander, you know, and very easily and probably win. Yeah. You know, based on this small 2-minute clip
that they thought was funny and basically wanted to make a point of photographers need to be aware of the videographers. And yeah, I mean, and it's funny too, when you read through the comments after this woman puts her 2 cents in about, you know, and you know, kind of presented her case there, then all of a sudden you saw the tone of the comments starting to change. Like, I'm really disappointed in F-Stoppers that they would post something like this without fully vetting it, like you said, and you know, knowing the whole circumstances and blah, blah, blah. And that's it. F-Stoppers, I mean, it was a good video. I mean, it really made an impact. I watched it and I said, oh crap, you know.
Yeah, it's funny.
That's
you know?
horrible. This you know, this woman, she's in the lens, and you know, they wanted to get it out there, and now everybody's seeing the repercussions from it. And there are a lot of comments on that post, I tell you.
Oh my. Well, you know, this is the kind of things that happen. But you know, like I said at the very beginning, the bottom line is here: you need to know your surroundings. You need to know the job of the other people that you are working with, and the better you know their job is the better you can do your job and be able to both get fantastic coverage.
That's right.
The bottom line is, as photographers, we have fleeting moments. We have to capture that one single second, that 60th of a second, whereas they're just rolling video. And that, just like when I do HD and I'm doing large events, I'm rolling. Many times I have 2 cameras, sometimes 4 cameras rolling. Yes. You know what? The bottom line is, yes, that 2 minute might have been ruined, or that 60 seconds might have been ruined. Very easy to pull a B-roll, even a C-roll, and fix that little spot, right, and not make this whole big stink about it. So, there's something to be said about both sides.
This whole thing, there's a lot to learn from this whole experience here. I mean, from a photographer standpoint, from a blogger standpoint, from a liability standpoint, a legal standpoint. I mean, there's lots to be learned from this post for sure. So
absolutely. So all right, Trev.
Good stuff, man. We are done.
That's it. We got to get out.
Yes. So if people want to connect with you outside of DPC, how can they reach you?
They can find me on Twitter. That's @Joseph Christina. And that's Christina without an H.
Yes, and you can connect with me on Twitter. It's at Trevor Current.
Awesome. All right, guys, we are out of here once again. You can get all the show notes from this episode by visiting digitalphotographycafe.com/120. And don't forget to send your questions and comments to comments@digitalphotographycafe.com or simply call 440-345-6707. Once again, that's 440-345-6707. And we will see you next week.
You've been watching the Digital Photography Cafe show with Trevor Current and Joseph Christina. Be sure to subscribe to the show for free in iTunes or through RSS. You can also listen on Stitcher and TuneIn Radio and watch in HD on TiVo. Visit digitalphotographycafe.com for show notes and to connect with your hosts.